All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, Apparition. Hello, Guppy Force. Welcome back to Seabed. Apparition, are you okay with going on today? Like, you said you didn't get any sleep last night. Are you sure you're okay? You should really get some rest. Okay, so just please, if you feel tired, please just get some sleep, okay? Anyway, last time on Seabed, we learned a bit more about Takako. She was trying to cook. Oh, that was the night before. Well, still. Damn. Oh, jeez. I see. Okay, you're fine today? Okay. Great. Hello, Jackie. Anyway, last time on Seabed, we ended another Takako section. And damn, did that get spicy at the end. You know, I was saying earlier when in the very beginning of the story, I wonder if there's an NSFW patch for this. It's like, okay, it's not too far off from that. Like, Jesus Christ. Wow. I didn't like that. That is like as borderline as you can get without going over. I don't know if it's gonna get that spicy again, but Takako, in between that, we also had a bunch more sweet moments with Takako learning to cook and trying to cook curry and things like that. And the person, that nurse, I swear she looks so much like Sachiko. And now the person Sachiko is with in Sachiko's section, which we're going to switch to today, looks so much like Takako. Exactly, Void Dweller. Welcome to the stream. Yep, she dressed up as Santa for the Christmas party. Anyway, let's see what Sachiko's doing. Oh yeah, that's right. We're starting out with like a flashback to when they were kids. Oh my god! Wow, I love this picture. I love this picture. Oh my god, I just love how this is drawn. It's actually reminding me of I know I have this game on the brain since I've been playing it like non-stop, but it's actually reminding me of the Arknight's art style, which is not surprising since several Yuri artists do art for Arknights. But I don't know, it's just reminding me of that art style. Anyway, the rays of the sun filtered in through the marmalade-colored western window of the kindergarten, elongating the shadows of the three of us inside. Hello, Chi. Welcome to the stream. I held a picture book in my hands that masqueraded as a doctor's notebook. Takako was... Oh, okay, so this is Sachiko. Takako was pressing her stethoscope against the belly of a doll. Does the stethoscope have the right side and the wrong side? She asked me. You're holding it correctly. I see. I love this expression! Oh my god! She took the stethoscope off and put it on the table. There was a whole lineup of toy medical tools on it, all to be used as part of the game. Takako looked over at them for a second, and after a brief moment of hesitation... What is this? She picked up a spatula generally used to hold down the tongue. Oh, you mean like a tongue depressor? Who's saying this? Oh. The nurse is looking. I turned around and saw the nurse looking our way. Nurse? What? Why is there... Why is there a nurse? Where are they? I thought they were in a kindergarten. Are they in the nurse's office of the kindergarten? I turned around and saw the nurse looking our way. She picked up a plush bunny we left on the floor earlier and put it back into its box. I couldn't make her face out in the backlight. Huh.
Was she looking at us? Yes. You seem to be a very untrustworthy doctor. I fear for your future patients if you actually become one.
Oh my god! Sachiko was sassy as a little kid. Oh my god, that's amazing. Ah!
I think Narasaki's better at it than you, Takako.
Okay, we can switch if you want.
Narasaki stood up.
She picked up the stethoscope, put it around her neck, and sat down in the chair.
So, where does it hurt?
I ate a poisoned apple.
Just like in the story we read today. In that case, please show me your stomach.
Okay. Takako pulled up her shirt. Oh, that was Takako.
Okay.
Takako pulled up her shirt, exposing her naked belly.
Alright, now turn around.
Takako did as ordered, pantomiming a spinning chair.
There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with your lungs. Okay, let's have a look at your throat now.
Takako spun her invisible chair again and opened her mouth.
Open wide. Yep, just like that.
Yep, this is Narasaki. She's not in the CG, but she is in the scene. Narasaki used the spatula to push Takako's tongue out of the way.
You're good at opening your mouth. I can see all the way to your tonsils. The nurse told me the same thing. I have no idea what you're saying, though.
Oh, that was an adorable scene. So I think the point of that was to establish that they're not at any kind of ordinary kindergarten. Oh, we have a Narasaki section. Interesting. From the tips, people are going to be confused if they didn't read the tips.
The letters blurred and started dancing on the page. I closed the book and rubbed my eyes with one hand.
Yeah, people are going to be confused as fuck if they didn't read the tips. Because isn't this where they left off?
I glanced at the clock resting on the edge of the long table.
Oh, no. Wait, this is, damn, no. This is still in, Sachiko's world line. Never mind. It didn't switch back to Sachiko, but it's in Sachiko's world line here.
What are you reading? Kozue, sitting on the other end of the table, addressed me.
It's a book about psychological illnesses.
Oh, I hope you get better.
I'm not the one afflicted.
Oh, wait, did I just swap them? Wait. Okay, no, I didn't swap them. Okay.
Kozue exhaled an aloof breath. She looked toward my direction, her eyes narrowed. Perception and behavioral psychology.
Oh.
Perception and behavioral psychology.
She read out the title of the book I was holding. It's the book I was looking for. Lily said this used to be...
So, the Takako scenes are happening in the past? Wait. But then... God, the mystery just keeps on getting more tangled up. My God.
Lily said this used to be a sanatorium when you two were talking. So, I figured I'd try my luck.
Are there... So the Narasaki here is not the same Narasaki as the one from the tips. Clearly. Kozue seems to be the missing link in all these things. She's the only one that's appearing like the same way in both world lines. It feels like. I guess it might be appropriate that I gave her the Burncastle voice. If she can switch between worlds, if she's like the missing link between worlds. I think the Takako scenes are happening in the past, because she says it used to be a sanatorium. But then, how does that even match up? Damn, this is just so... This is incredible, like... I just love thinking about these kinds of things. Seriously. Anyway, back to the story.
Lily said this used to be a sanatorium when you two were talking, so I figured I'd try my luck.
Are you a doctor?
That's right.
What kind of doctor?
Right now, a psychologist, but I've got training in a variety of fields.
I see.
Interesting. Huh. That she has training in so many fields.
Despite saying that, Kozue looked at me with incredulous eyes. I didn't flinch, and soon enough her gaze mellowed out.
Huh. I have a feeling that Kozue may be the linchpin of this whole story.
I've never known a doctor before.
Really?
That is weird. Huh.
Kozue began tilting her head to the side, but stopped the moment she caught herself doing it.
The school has a counselor, though.
You can become a counselor without a doctor's license as long as you have the relevant education. Is that person a friend of yours?
Nope. He came to my house this one time when I was skipping classes a lot. Apart from that, I only saw him in his ethics class.
You skip school a lot?
When I feel tired, which is all the time. It's not like I enjoy slacking off for long periods of time. I was just really tired then.
Wow. If Kozue is not a gigantic mood right now, I don't know what is.
Did you go to school afterwards?
Yep. I got even more tired once my parents started fussing over it.
How do you relax on the days when you're tired?
I sleep until there's no one else in the house, which is usually around 9 o'clock. After that, I read books. No one comes back until late at night, so I sometimes go outside during the afternoon.
And that helps with your exhaustion? I pried a bit further. Kozue furrows her brows as though trying to remember what she told me.
I suppose tired was not the right word. Going to the same place every day bores me to death.
Oh god, you are Burncastle.
I want a change of scenery from time to time. Like choosing a less traveled route to school, Or boarding a train and letting it take you across town and back until sundown. Stuff like that. You get what I'm trying to say. Also messing with witches.
What?
Never mind.
I used to be a student as well. And even now I'm forced to do more or less the same thing every day.
Do you ever get tired of it?
I do. Everyone does. Kozui placed her elbows in the desk and rested her chin on her hands.
Can't I just become like those...
You can't be serious right now. What? Oh my god! What? Oh my god! Oh my god! Nobody who didn't see the Umineko Let's Play is gonna have any idea why I'm laughing my head off right now. Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
Can't I just become like those cats that always sleep on the fence?
Oh my god!
Maybe even the cat wondered why we spend all our time working with barely any rest. Anyway, people are different from napping felines. We can't just do whatever we want.
Sure, we're not cats, but still. Why can't we live the way we want?
People have their positions in society. We're social animals. And have our roles to fulfill in the communities. My legs started hurting in my current position, so I recrossed them under the table. And the community returns the favor. Schools provide you with education, while families provide you with your livelihood. Until that role is taken over by your workplace, of course. And it's all structured in a way to make that function as effectively as possible, which forces people to do the same thing they're best at, over and over again.
Will it get better once I grow up?
What do you mean exactly?
I'm at...
You are Burncastle, aren't you?
I'm asking if life will become any less boring.
I couldn't help but smile at Kozue's childish question. She seemed to consider an easy and unchanging life boring. At the same time, though, it could be considered the embodiment of peace, something that many people held in high regard. Why would it? Oh,
Why would it?
well, compared to school, there are all sorts of jobs in the world, and you're free to choose whichever you like. Well, within reason.
I see. You're right that the world is rife with various different occupations to choose from. At school, you only have the student council, while adult society has countless companies, divisions, positions, industries, occupations, and all sorts of other things that divide and sequester the whole.
Oh god. Was that supposed to be her? The lack of name tags is just... I don't know who was supposed to be saying that.
Kozue listened to me with somewhat dim eyes. However, this level of extreme specialization severely narrows the scope of your job compared to what you're used to at school, which is why people tend to be likened to cogs in a machine.
Why does it have to be so specialized?
I don't know. Maybe because everyone is competing in the same field. As our goals keep getting bigger and bigger and Earth's population increases, everyone has to be an expert at their respective roles.
I really do like this conversation. It's a very natural conversation that would just, I feel that would happen in, and it just seems like something that, a conversation that seems more likely to take place in real life than in fiction, which is super fascinating.
A cog.
Said Kozue, her expression clouding over.
Kozue is so mysterious. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a witch or some kind of powers.
Well, if you look at the big picture, we're like an awesome giant robot, I said.
How does everyone let off steam in a world like that?
Well, that depends on the person. It's something you'll gradually get to learn at home, at school, or even during your club activities.
Is that how it works?
Most of the time, at least. Kozue let out a small sigh.
I suddenly don't feel like going to school tomorrow.
I couldn't help making a sour expression myself.
Still, maybe I'll pay a bit more attention from now on.
I'm glad to hear it. With that subject covered, Kozue shifted her gaze back to her book. I returned to my book as well. It contains several records about past treatments, which made me hope I could find one that resembled Sachiko's situation.
How do you work, exactly?
Kozue addressed me around the same time I finished making a note of every case worth looking into. Me? Taken by slight surprise, I reacted with a foolish question. There was no one else in the room, so Kozue just continued staring at me, saying nothing. I made an embarrassed smile. I'm not sure how you imagine it, but psychologists aren't like other doctors. We don't mess with your body too much. At best, we recommend some medicine.
What kind of patients come to you?
Well, most of the people that visit my place are either old men that use dementias and used to talk about their grandchildren, or housewives who come to complain about their husbands and daily chores. Oof.
Sounds like a pain, but even I could hear them out.
It doesn't take a genius to listen.
What do you do when they finish talking, then?
So she hardly ever has any real patience. I guess that kind of makes sense with the stigma against, therapy in the 80s.
Well, first I have to listen carefully and find the exact cause of what's weighing on their mind. Then I think about how to help them overcome it.
Sounds simple enough.
Well, it might not be as easy as you think. You can't see inside a person's mind after all.
How is it not easy?
Well, it's different from simply opening someone's mouth and expecting the condition of their tonsils, or listening for abnormalities in the beating of their heart. Everyone's mind is unique and different from mine, so you can neither quantify anything nor tell good from bad with exact precision.
Then what do you do?
I'm having a hard time putting it into words. However, Kozue fell completely silent, obviously waiting for an answer. I took a breath and considered how I could convey at least the gist of it to her. It might be easier to understand if you imagine the mind as a large swath of water. Its surface could be ravaged by storms while the deeper parts remain undisturbed. However, there are times that when the sea appears calm enough from the beach, but when you step into the water, you end up getting swept away by the underwater currents. People's emotions work in a similar way. To find out what's really going on, you've got to delve deep. Just looking at the surface, or even the mid-depth, won't yield a definite answer. You gotta reach the bottom, the seabed. So you dive as deep as you can and shine light on the darkness you find there. And it's only then that you start seeing the genuine thoughts of that person. They're all like deep sea fish, living in the depths no one knows about. They evolve in their own unique and unconstrained way. And sometimes, when you shine the light on them, you realize they're somehow distorted or missing something. Your job is to convey that to the person and help them fix it. After a few moments of silence, Kozue made a small nod.
Surprisingly, she didn't actually say seabed void dweller. I added that in because it sounded like that's what she was going for, but they didn't actually say it.
I'm not sure I understood it.
Can't exactly blame you.
Guess it's not that easy after all.
Yep.
Hey, have you ever ridden a train until sundown?
Not yet.
And are you sure you're still sane?
I have other ways to relax. You will recall how I said that each person is unique. I get enough changes of pace as it is.
I wish I could be like that too.
As the hour grew closer to lunchtime, Kozue began stuffing her notebook into her backpack. Going home? She slung the full backpack over her shoulder.
Yep.
I see. In that case, can I have one last question? Kozue passed by my chair, but turned around as I addressed her.
What?
Wait, I think I swapped them. Did I swap them? A picture book with birds. Kozue is the same entity, isn't she? In both world lines. If Kozue is a witch or something, that would be so crazy. Because with the whole cat thing and she's talking about boredom and everything. My God. You think I had them right? Okay.
I'm looking for a picture book with birds. Do you know where they keep them?
No.
And with that, Kozue trotted out of the library. The library was dead silent without Kozue and Lily. The short heels of my red shoes clicked against the floor, their sound reverberating across the walls and the high ceiling. For fun, I tried making them click at calculated intervals, producing a sound akin to the ticking of a clock. On a second-floor shelf near the window, I finally found a wild bird encyclopedia. I picked it up, brushed off the dust, and flipped through a few pages. I saw something blue and returned to that page. There was a picture of the bluebird I saw yesterday on the windowsill. I left the library sometime afternoon. As I passed the row of olive trees and reached the inner yard, I heard voices from the rough direction of the camphor tree. I followed the sound to see Nanai talking to a girl I didn't know. The girl sat on a plastic sheet surrounded by a bunch of toys. As she nodded, Nanai patted her on the head, which made her close her eyes in response.
Oh, I'll be back with some snacks, sugar.
And with that, Nanai disappeared into the mansion through a side entrance. Left alone, the girl resumed playing with her toys. With her short hair fastened into a side tail, she reminded me of Takako in her childhood. I moved to her side so as not to startle her. The girl was trying to give her doll some milk. However, unable to properly press the tip of the bottle into the doll's mouth, she kept brushing it against its face. I looked at her profile. Big eyes, angled, energetic-looking eyebrows. She shared some features with Takako, but she definitely wasn't her. Hello. I addressed her as I reached the camphor tree.
Damn, she does look like Takako. This is crazy.
The girl turned toward me. However, her eyes were not fixed on me, but the doll I was holding.
Wait,
I made the doll's hand move as though it was knocking on the door. Who is it? I'm Hibiki.
Oh. Okay. She's saying who is it? Okay.
Who is it?
What the fuck is going on here? Oh my god, this... Okay, Narasaki took the doll and she's playing...
Who is it? I'm Hibiki. I work nearby as a doctor. What about you? I'm Mia. She's Lily. She showed me the baby doll she was holding. You two came here alone? She shook her head. I came here with my brother. He went off to the mountains, leaving me to take care of everything. I see. Must be tough on you. It is. The girl was staring at the doll in my hands.
I forgot, when did Narasaki get a doll in her hands? When did Narasaki have a doll? Like, am I just... She had a doll in the chapter 2 scene? I forgot that. So they both have dolls. Okay. I thought, like, did she take her doll or a different doll there? Like, I was deeply confused there for a second. Okay.
The girl was staring at the doll in my hands. I made it walk and bow in front of her. It's dirty. I made an embarrassed smile. It had obvious tear marks, and its colors had mostly faded. Well, it's a pretty old doll after all. It might not look like much now, but this is actually our clinic's mascot.
I didn't realize that she had a doll with her. Okay.
I moved my doll's hand to take the milk bottle from the girl, and by shifting its angle a little, pushed it into the mouth of her doll. As I did that, the liquid inside the bottle decreased. Thank you. This time, the girl looked at me. You're welcome. Miss Doctor, would you accept the invitation for dinner as a token of our gratitude? I like that idea. The girl began preparing dinner, placed toy plates and food on a board. It looks delicious. I see you prepared a melon pie and some vegetable soup. But what's this? Potato salad. The door of the side entrance opened.
Oh?
Nana closed the door behind her with one leg. She was carrying a tray full of madeleines and had an extra madeleine in her mouth.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening. I greeted her with my doll. Nana came closer to us and saw the food that the girl had prepared.
I thought Nana looked different somehow. Wait. Wait. Isn't that... I don't know. Did Nana used to look different? Oh, that smells nice.
You want some too, Nana?
Of course I do, sugar. I even brought dessert. Let's all have some later.
Eventually, Mia's brother returned to come pick her up. You sure you got all your toys with you? Mia spent a few moments rummaging through her bag, then stuck her hands in her pockets and checked something in there as well. Yes. Ah!
Ouch! What's up with running off and leaving your little sister all on her own?
Further away, it seemed like Nana's iron fist of punishment had just landed on the boy's head. He staggered backward, clutching his head with one hand.
Miss Narasaki.
Oh, that's her. Miss Narasaki. I felt someone tug on my sleeve. Glancing down, I saw Mia looking at me. I leaned down and patted her on the head. Goodbye. Let's play again some other time. Be careful when you read back, okay?
Oh, that's still Narasaki. I really wish they wouldn't put the... If the quote is coming from the same character, I really wish they wouldn't put separate quotes around it.
Be careful on your way back, okay? Mia smiled and ran off to her brother and Nanai.
Things ended well this time round. But what do y'all think would have happened if she tried following y'all and got lost in the mountains? Huh? Someone has to look after her. Use your goddamn head. You're her brother.
I thought you'd look after her if I left her here.
His brother kept making excuses in a small voice while still clutching his head.
Move your hand. I'm gonna give y'all another one.
Nanai. Mia tugged on Nanai's sleeve with a worried expression. Nanai let out a sigh and lowered her fist.
Well, whatever. Make sure to be home by the time it gets dark.
I'm sorry.
The boy lowered his head, took Mia's hand in her bag, and walked off.
I told everything that happened to your parents, so you better be ready when you get home.
The boy startled for a moment, then continued walking. As I watched the siblings walk off in the afternoon glow, Nanai turned to me and made an embarrassed smile.
Oh, shucks. I ended up causing y'all trouble.
Nah, it's been a while since I could return to my inner child. It was fun.
Really? Oh, shucks. I'm glad to hear that.
Contrary to her words, her expression still remained somewhat sour. You sure you didn't go overboard with the boy?
Oh, y'all better not worry. I know all the kids and their parents around here. I can't let them misbehave in front of my eyes.
Well, what if he starts hating you for beating him and such?
Oh, I'm sure he'll understand. And if he starts hating me, I'll do my best to make him change his mind.
Well, what if he gets a table and a sign and a coffee cup and with a sign that says "Nanai sucks. You can't change my mind."
Well then, I guess we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it, won't we?
You don't want to upset them, but you can't let them do as they please either.
Well, that's the hard part about being an adult, sugar.
Nanai shook her head.
Alright, so I didn't think, I thought we were going to get back to Sachiko, but there was a little Narasaki mini chapter. And now we get to this room that looks awful lot like a room in Kuwadorian in Umineko. Right here. With Sachiko at last.
I found a round resting room at the end of the corridor, on the second floor. It had a small table and 2 chairs. There was also a shelf with a collection of old books. The curving wall facing the inner yard was covered in windows. The camphor tree stood right in front of the windows, its branches partially blocking the light. I sat down in one of the chairs and gazed outside. I wonder if she's going to be able to see the scene that just happened. I thought about what I should do next. The sun rays filtering through the leaves gave the chairs and the table in the room a pleasant warmth. I felt somewhat drowsy looking at all that greenery swaying in the wind.
Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. She's dreaming about times in school. Okay.
The bell signaled the end of lunchtime. Some of the boys dashed out of the classroom to secure themselves a place to play on the athletics field.
Every time I just wanted to head straight for the computer room. And if I was forced to go outside, I would go on the swings.
The sound of shuffling footsteps and various voices filled the area around me.
To this day, sports are just not my thing. Managing to finish my pack of milk before the bell stopped ringing, I tore off the part holding it together and folded it into a neat rectangle. Once I was finished, I put it into the green case next to the podium. The cases for other tableware seem to have already been cleaned up. I picked up the green case and left the classroom, intending to carry it to the storage room. Clang. I lowered the case, placing it next to a whole bunch of similarly green cases from other classes. As I left this dark storage room and glanced out the window, I spotted several students already playing ball on the athletics field. The normally popular basketball court seemed to have been taken over by an older class. I turned away and continued to the backyard. The backyard between the fourth wing and a big concrete wall was about as poorly lit as the storage room. But at least it allowed me to distance myself from the noise of the other students. My god, Sachiko, you and I are birds of a feather. I just wanted to relax quietly at recess. However, as I turned a corner beyond the fourth wing, I saw someone. The silhouette was crouching over a patch of grass, apparently watering it. What are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Sachi! Takako turned around, her twin tails dancing in the wind. I sat down next to her, in my usual spot on the emergency stairs. I came to water your birthday present. Is that so? It's always so damp here, I don't think it needs much watering. You're never in your classroom during lunch. Do you always come here? Yes. I opened my paper bag and took out the bookmark. God, Sachiko. I would have loved to read books during recess in school, but I was too afraid to bring a book to school because, I didn't want the other kids to just destroy it or some shit. Takako sat down next to me and spent a few moments staring at the page I was reading, but soon got tired of it and turned away. She then picked up a sketchbook that was lying on the stairs and began drawing something with a brown pencil. Scritch. Scritch, scratch. The scribbling of the pencil was the only sound in the backyard for a while. What are you drawing? Your present. You told me I could pluck it, so I figured I'd draw it. I see. Our classical Japanese teacher is terrible. I kept raising my hand, but he never asked me anything. Earlier today, I tried raising my hand to answer a question that no one in class had any clue about, and he still ignored me. What do you think that is? Maybe he hates you because you keep sleeping in class, and your voice is always too loud. Ha! I can't help my voice. But I guess I was right. Damn. And then that math teacher only ever asked me something when I don't know the answer! Besides, you're terrible at classical Japanese. He probably doesn't let you speak because he doesn't want you to embarrass yourself. I'll get great marks on the next test and show him! Good luck. Sachi, can you teach me after school? I can. But what about your club? The boys' basketball and volleyball teams are using the gym today, so I don't have practice. I'll do some running tonight, but that's about it. I see. I turned a page while thinking about Takako doing various physical fitness activities.
It made it hard to concentrate on the book. The sound of fervent scribbling resumed.
I'm done.
She placed the pencil on the stairs and held out her sketchbook in front of me. A 4-leaf clover extended across the entire page, each of its leaves appearing a bit different. Some of the leaves were drawn with wavy lines, while the others looked jagged. It looks a bit like the icon of this game. Both versions look quite pleasing to the eye, despite them being drawn with relatively few lines. Exactly what kind of profession are you aiming for?
Well,
Her big eyes grew round as she let out a thoughtful grunting sound.
I like drawing and creating things, so something along those lines.
That's not very specific.
A body has been discovered? Oh no, that sucks.
It's the bell. Let's go. As I stood up and brushed the dust off my skirt, Takako rolled along the ground and stopped behind me.
What you doing?
After school, upon turning the corner, I saw Takako on all fours. What are you doing now?
Oh,
Takako turned her head over her shoulder and waved at me.
I was looking for the 4-leaf clover. Do you come here during every break?
My classes are over. I came here to read a book for a while before going home. I sat down on the stairs, opened the book, and took out the bookmark. Here it is.
Oh, here it is!
As soon as she found it, she unzipped her bag she had left in the shadow of the stairs and took out her equipment. She entered the building holding a yellow bucket, filled it up with water, and then came back out.
Alrighty then.
She sat down next to me. Splish! She stuck a brush into the water.
Green and yellow.
Oh my god, Jackie, I'm so sorry.
She squeezed the paint tubes, covering her palette in colors.
I feel like it's not colorful enough.
I turned a page. Just use some other colors then.
Ha! I see. Brilliant suggestion.
That's what I'm here for. I turned a page.
I am so sorry, Jackie. I hope you're okay.
I heard the sound of a brush gliding against the canvas. The damp, gloomy backyard regained its usual silence. The only things I could hear were the sound of turning pages as I read, and the cries of the cicadas in the distance. The cries of the higurashi.
I'm done. What do you think?
She placed the brush on the stairs and held out the sketchbook in front of me. That's one colorful clover.
An avant-garde.
Does it have any meaning?
Well,
She stuck her head out and considered the canvas herself.
She then pointed at the blue leaf.
This blue leaf represents a sprout. It's the youngest of the four. The yellow one is a young leaf that's yet to fully form. The green one, well, as you can no doubt tell yourself, it's just a normal leaf in its prime. And lastly, this red one is a leaf at the very end of its life.
Oh, hello, Jordan. Welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you here before. She pointed at the green and red leaves in order. I'm impressed you managed to come up with that on the spot.
I passed a qualification examination for colors the other day. You can make any color you want by mixing the four I used for these leaves.
That's actually quite impressive. Takako's palette was a difficult to describe mess of a whole array of colors mixed together, almost like she couldn't decide which one to pick, right until the very end. I really hope that your laptop isn't broken if you're using a laptop. Oh god. I thought you were watching on the phone. Oh, back to Narasaki. This chapter is jumping around perspectives a lot, isn't it? Jeez.
At the end of the second floor corridor, there was a cylinder-shaped lounge with a small table, 2 chairs, and a bookshelf in it. A set of large windows lined the wall, welcoming the serene afternoon light. I spotted Sachiko sleeping at the table, using her elbow as a pillow. I silently pulled out the other chair, careful not to wake her. The chair creaked as I lowered myself in it, but it didn't seem to disturb her. Sachiko's shoulders rhythmically moved up and down, but other than that, she remained motionless. Her thin and glossy hair, succumbing to the pull of gravity, covered her face. She looked like the girl from The Ring, which was coincidentally named Sachiko. It swayed ever so slightly in the soft breeze, glimmering in the afternoon light.
Hello, Blue Shifting. Welcome to the stream. We're getting some new people today. That's really cool.
I realized the collar of my coat got crooked as I sat down. Remembering that I had a doll in my pocket, I took it out and placed it on the table. It had been preserved well, given its age. I tried brushing off a dirty spot on its cheek with a finger, but it didn't work. Suddenly, I heard some footsteps from behind. Looking up, I saw Nanai's aunt on the other end of the corridor. She seemed to have noticed me as well and made a light bow.
Let's see. Hello. I guess Nanai, but slightly older sounding, I guess. I'll do for her.
She came over to my chair, carrying a basket full of laundry. Hello? The weather is certainly nice today. Neither too cold or too hot. A perfect day for an afternoon nap, if there ever was one.
Oh, the weather is certainly nice today. Neither too cold nor too hot. A perfect day for an afternoon nap, if there ever was one.
How about joining us?
Oh, shucks. An enticing proposal, but I must refuse. If Nana found us, I wouldn't hear the end of it.
Well, that's too bad. Lily made a warm smile, then shifted her gaze to the doll on the table.
Is this yours?
Yeah.
Oh dear, it looks quite old.
Switching the laundry basket to other hand, Lily considered the doll with curious eyes. I held it up in front of her. She took it with her one free hand.
Is it handmade? Spots of dirt aside, it appears quite well crafted.
I've had it since my childhood. You could say it's somewhat special to me.
Ah, so it's something important to you.
Lily inspected the doll for any other patches of dirt and tear marks.
I could fix it up for y'all if you want.
Really?
Of course. It's not like our own antiques receive no refurbishment. We have a contract with a company that specializes in these things, and I myself can handle some of the simpler items.
Lily answered me with a smile.
Fixing your doll is not that difficult compared to what I usually do, anyway.
In that case, I definitely appreciate it.
Oh, right then.
Lily placed the doll in her laundry basket.
This music sounds slightly suspicious.
She then pulled out a sheet from it.
Huh. I wonder why she's giving Narasaki a unique sheet here.
Use this if you're planning to sleep.
Thank you.
It was hanging in the sun just a few minutes ago, so it should feel quite pleasant.
I might end up being unable to sleep at night because of it, though.
Oh,
I might end up being able to sleep at night because of it, though.
Lily chuckled. Well, that wouldn't be good. Sleep is the best medicine, or however the saying goes. She nodded to herself a few times. I imagine a mansion like this must have a ghost story or two.
oh my god, this face! This face! It looks like a meme, this face. Smug Lily.
Oh, absolutely. Y'all have no idea. Do y'all like these kinds of stories?
I'm quite a fan.
Oh, in that case, I could tell you one if you want, sugar.
Sounds great. Lily nodded, placed the basket on the floor, and lowered herself to the empty chair.
Interesting. Okay, this sounds like it's going to be really important.
It's about a woman that used to live here quite some while ago. She was different from most people. Y'all could say that she had an unusually sharp intuition. For example, look at this scar. I got it when I was hit by a bike.
Lily rolled up her sleeve and showed her elbow to me. I could make out a scar that must have needed at least 6 stitches. It was quite an old wound. I doubt I would have even noticed the scar had she not pointed it out. I spoke to that
woman on the phone the day before, and she told me to be careful of bikes. She would always warn y'all about things out of nowhere, but her premonitions almost always turned out to be true.
Why'd you get hurt then? Lily smiled.
Oh, I wasn't planning to go out that day, but I was bored as hell and napped through half the day, and by the time I awoke, I'd already forgotten about the warning, sugar. I figured it was the perfect time to take out the trash, and as soon as I stepped outside, I was hit by a gold dang bike. Ash catching Misty style.
She leaned to the left, pantomiming how she got hit.
So that person could predict the future?
Oh, I'm not sure, darling. In my case, my experience, there were only 2 occasions where she predicted something with such accuracy, so I probably wouldn't go so far as say she could read the future. On the other hand, there were several cases that made me think she had unbelievably good instincts. It felt more like she was sensitive to the supernatural. One time while working here, I figured I'd skip out on cleaning duty and was sleeping in the storage room when I woke up with some really bad sleep paralysis. I couldn't move at all and was half panicking when I suddenly heard someone's footsteps outside, along with the voices of 2 people. However, my mouth wouldn't move, so I couldn't call for help either. As I was praying for someone to notice me, I heard one of the 2 draw closer to the storage room, opening the door. It was her again. I pleaded for help with my gaze, but when she saw me, all she did was snort, as if making fun of me.
Lily recounted the story with a smile on her own face. She then closed the door and left.
Oh. She then closed the door and left. The sleep paralysis subsided on its own later, and I remember looking all over the place to find and give her a piece of my mind. I was furious she didn't rescue me.
Lily raised her fist in an expression of rightful anger, but soon lowered it and smiled. At any rate, I thought she had special powers.
Okay. At any rate, I thought she had special powers. How about y'all? Do y'all believe in such things? At any rate, I thought she had special powers. How about y'all? Do you believe in such things?
I've had no first-hand experience with stuff like that, so I don't have much to say.
Okay, so the part with Narasaki in the tips, I think takes place after then.
A lot of hotels and inns suddenly started popping up after the...
A lot of hotels and inns started popping up after the war. Y'all know, for tourists and such.
Oh, yeah, blue shifting. My significant other, they have had a bad history with sleep paralysis. Seriously, like, Oh my god, that was a huge thing a couple of years ago. Thankfully, we've moved past it, knock on wood. But, yeah, lucid dream, I think I was able to do it like once, and it was by accident. And it was pretty amazing.
However, most of them went bankrupt as soon as the real estate bubble burst. And with no funds to even raise the buildings, they ended up abandoned.
I wonder if the real estate bubble burst. Does that mean this takes place in the early 90s?
It had been said since olden times that this area manifested strong ties with the supernatural, but with a convenient ghost mansion around, the stories pertaining to all the things that might live inside went completely out of control. There are dozens of such stories. I honestly can't even remember them all. Anyway, this woman in question could see those kinds of things, so she had it rough. And her senses grew even keener after that one particular incident. At first, she only said she could hear sounds at night.
This is... Oh my god, I think we're about to learn a lot more about the mystery and everything going on. Shit, damn it, I'm so sorry. I got to take a bathroom break. I will be right back. All right. Yeah, the tone shift is pretty incredible. So I think let's learn more about the supernatural aspect of the story here.
At first, she only said she could hear sounds at night. At that time, she was already working and lodging at the mansion. Anyway, she once said she could hear water dripping from the tap, despite sleeping in the wing furthest away from the kitchen. The tap here was pretty loose, so y'all had to close it really tightly. With that in mind, she climbed out of bed and went to the kitchen to see what was up. Still half asleep, she tried to wring the tap handle even harder, but it didn't help. Then, she suddenly heard something near her ears that sounded vaguely like the laugh of a child. And that's when anybody would just freaking go batshit bananas in terror.
Seriously, could you even imagine? I would be scared shitless.
She swiftly spun around, but no one was there. Figuring it was only her imagination, she returned to bed.
Oh God, I would be scared out of my mind.
But as soon as she began to doze off, she heard some voices again. This time, it was a bunch of children laughing. She jumped out of bed, but once again, there was no one there. Assuming it was just a bad dream she had after that unpleasant experience with the tap, she lay back on the bed, only for the sound of dripping water to start up again.
Oh God. I would not go to the kitchen again.
She had a bad feeling about it, but still considered the possibility that her previous experience with the tap was no more than a dream. In the end, she got up and went to the kitchen again.
Oh God! Okay. Did not expect to have a jump scare in this.
As she closed the handle again, she heard the voice again. This time, it was clear as day.
Let's play again sometime.
However, she didn't turn around. Instead, she focused on something that she saw from the corner of her eyes. It was not behind, but below her.
Oh God! Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Okay, no, that was creepy as fuck. Since when did this turn into a horror novel? What the fuck? Seriously! Sorry. God!
She slowly looked down to see a child looking at her.
Oh God. Okay, back to nice anime girls. Okay. Oh God. Oh my God. Jeez. Wow, my heart is actually beating fast. Oh God, jeez. Okay, my God. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh God, jeez.
The child turned its shadowy face to her, and after conceding that they had been found, suddenly dashed toward the kitchen wall and vanished beyond it. Well, was that scary?
She leaned against the table on her elbows and took a good look at my face. Yeah, that was pretty creepy.
Right?
She nodded to herself with a satisfied smile. Looks like I'm not getting any sleep tonight!
Want to hear what happened next?
Yeah, what happened?
Oh God.
So, she ended up changing rooms, but felt the presence of children in her new place as well. After that, she started seeing odd things all over the mansion. I saw her run into them multiple times myself. This one time, she suddenly stopped in place as we were climbing the stairs. When I asked her what was wrong, she told me she saw something in the mirror that shouldn't have been here. We had a big mirror on the second floor, and I gave it a glance, but it looked perfectly normal to me. All I could see reflected in it were the two of us. I asked her if she was tired and played for laughs at the time, but it kept happening. So I figured I might as well try and research history of the mansion a bit. Now, I already knew this place used to be a sanatorium.
Who are the Fujisaka?
I've already told y'all about the Fujisaka family, right? Well, we knew that even before we refurbished the place. The building has been purified by Shinto priests, and it was never a hospital or the site for a graveyard either. Besides, this area saw plenty of battles during the war, so you'd expect all the weird things to happen there, and not over here in a secluded mansion. Anyway, I figured to dig a bit deeper, using the records in the study and library next door. Oh, that's right. The library over there actually used to belong to another building.
Interesting. I wonder if the other building is where Takako is. Or was.
It fell apart before we could do anything about it, so we only ended up getting the library. It's actually even older than this mansion. Anyway, I also found some black and white photos from when this place was used as a sanatorium. I showed the pictures to my friend, and then she pointed at a few people, telling me she actually saw them here in the mansion.
Lily stole a glance at me. What happened after that?
Well, now we assumed these people must have been ghosts or something. So we called a priest and had him purify the place. We used holy salt, placed charms in the doors and the walls and all that jazz. There might still be some left. Want me to look for them?
I figured it wouldn't be too fun to see them, so I declined. Anyway, after that, she stopped telling her weird stories to me. I was relieved, thinking we were finally done with it. But one day, and ironically enough, in this exact place.
Oh God. Stop! No! Stop it! Oh God.
I was walking down the corridor when I heard some voices.
Oh God. Oh God.
Thinking that someone was having a conversation, I continued walking and ran into her. But there was no one else.
Oh God.
She just stood there, chuckling all by herself. When I asked her what she was doing, she answered that it was nothing.
Oh God damn it. This is still Lily? Oh fucking hell. Are you sure this is still Lily? Wait. How? Are you sure about that apparition? How does that... Because this is Lily, right? So... Okay, because the quote here confused me. Because isn't this the end of... Are you sure? Well, that's true, but I'm trying to, like... Didn't she just decline? Anyway, but she just said she stopped telling her weird stories to me. It just said she stopped telling her weird stories to me. Are you sure? Because I thought this was Narasaki. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought this was Narasaki. I thought this was Narasaki talking. Okay, sorry about that. I got really confused. I'm just a moron. Jeez. Anyway, after that, she stopped telling her weird stories to me. I was relieved, thinking we were finally done with it. But one day, and ironically enough in this exact place, I was walking down the corridor when I heard some voices. Thinking that someone was having a conversation, I continued walking and ran into her. But there was no one else. She just stood there, chuckling all by herself. When I asked her what she was doing, she answered that it was nothing. It felt weird. So I didn't back down. Who were you talking to? I asked her. She finally told me that those people from the pictures didn't disappear after the purification. And after talking to them, she found out that they weren't bad people at all. She didn't want us to worry anymore, so she kept silent about it. No one else, of course, saw or felt anything, so it could have gone by unnoticed. But I think she wanted someone to confess to. Even after that, I saw her talking to herself on multiple occasions. One time, when we were folding the sheets, she suddenly looked up at the ceiling and started following something with her eyes. When I asked her what it was, she told me she saw a butterfly. Oh God. A butterfly? Interesting. Another, everything, I think everything I play on this channel is going to relate back to Umineko somehow. We can't escape it. We can't escape Umineko. But I couldn't see anything, no matter where I looked. It also happened on a cold winter day, so it didn't even make sense for a butterfly to be there. Other world! Oh my God! Now, she said it was probably from the other world. According to her, it was a beautiful blue butterfly. Holy shit, damn.
After that, she began talking to herself a lot less frequently. Instead, she started seeing butterflies everywhere. Now, I've realized how she would almost always stare upward when we roamed the corridors together. She even said she wanted to try and catch one. Anyway, one day she had to clean the guest rooms. I was assigned to clean the windows in the corridor, but as I was working, I suddenly heard a loud sound from the room she was cleaning. Oh, God. I rushed inside to find it completely empty. The window was open, so I looked down, thinking she might have fallen down or something. I didn't see anyone, Sugar. But then I remembered we had a well down below, so... I called some people, and we ended up going down the well with flashlights and everything. We found absolutely nothing. Only the dark water surface reflected our lights. We turned the place upside down looking for her, but never found her.
Huh? Didn't that turn into a serious incident then? I assume the police were involved?
Yeah. Police filed her as a missing person and kept looking. They even climbed down our well, but didn't find any clues. Anyway, she disappeared without a trace. Most of the people have heard stories about her, so they started saying she was spirited away. Frickin' Onikakashita. Her parents looked everywhere for her, but ended up with no clues either. However, it's possible that she's been around here all along. It's just that we couldn't see her.
I wonder if it's Kozue.
Well, was it scary?
Lily opened her eyes wide as she asked the question. More like creepy in an unsettling way.
Oh, I suppose. Y'all know, someone said that if we can't find the body, that means there's a chance she's still out there, alive and well. It's a possibility I can't deny.
So, you're saying we're better off not knowing?
Well, there are things best left unknown. Right, Sugar? Besides, we don't even know whether she was seeing real ghosts or just had mental problems. On the other hand, she began acting particularly weird after seeing those old pictures. Perhaps it would have been best for her just to ignore that whole incident with the child, or whatever she saw on her first weird night. Now, what do y'all think?
Well, I'd imagine it'd be difficult not to pay attention to something as big as that.
You're right. But I think it was at least an option.
This story is just incredible. I can't imagine where this is going.
As I deliberated on which part she had been referring to exactly, her tone suddenly turned more cheerful.
Oh, these kinds of stories are like Pandora's box. If no one ever opened thing 4, how would they know the hoop would be the last thing they ever made on the bottom?
However,
some theories claim that you could also know the future through it.
really? Still.
Oh, sorry.
However,
See, that's the problem. You don't know whether a quote, judging by a separate sentence, Like, if it's doing a new quotation mark, it's by the same person or a different person. Like, really, it's sad that this story is so well written, but I'm having trouble reading it because of the lack of name tags. Like, that's just, oh god, what I wouldn't give for some kind of mod to have name tags on the lines, which would be such a daunting task. Because first of all, you'd have to somehow be able to tell yourself who's talking. Like, Jesus Christ. That would be such a daunting task.
Really? Still, it doesn't really change my example, sugar.
I glanced at Sachiko, and Lily followed my gaze.
Now, what do y'all think?
The light falling on Sachiko's hair had grown orange in hue. I suddenly heard another set of footsteps approaching from the direction of the corridor.
Oh, snap!
Lily stood up as Nanai stormed into her serene space. Now what are y'all doing here?
What about the laundry?
Nanai addressed Lily in a somewhat heated tone.
I wasn't skipping on work. I was telling our guest about the history of our mansion. That's all.
Oh, I really hope they weren't your silly ghost stories again.
Oh, not even close. Right, sugar?
I'm sorry for taking up your time, but I truly appreciated that curious little story. Nanai looked at Lily, then back at me. She finally heaved a deep sigh. Well, okay then. Lily picked up her laundry basket.
Well, I'll be returning to work then.
Jeez.
Let's have another chat sometime, sugar.
Said Lily as she began walking down the corridor. Sure. Well, see you around then.
Can you guys differentiate between Anana and Lily's voices? Just let me know, because if that's okay for you.
Nanai followed after Lily.
Chapter break time. Chapters are getting shorter, it seems. Oh, you know what? This is probably a perfect place to. Yep, yeah. Lily's is. Yeah, I made Lily sound deeper on purpose. Yep, that's what I was going for. Okay, thank you. Second trip, tips 2. Trip. What do they mean by landscape immersion has been unlocked? Oh, what is this lovely persona music Sachiko's hearing? I'm digging this OST a lot. But either way, I think we're going to stop here for this, and we're going to read that tip before we go. It's about 15 to 20 minutes full apparition. Well, then that is just peachy keen, because that is exactly how much time we have left. So instead of starting on a tip, I think we'll end on one. Yep, I'm not feeling tired at all. So yeah, around 20 minutes, that's absolutely perfect. So yeah, instead of starting on a tip, we're going to end on one today. So there's tips 1 and tips 2. Like that's, so it's a whole another aspect of a tip. Like, what does this mean? Second trip. Like that could mean so many different things. Landscape immersion. Let's go. Oh, I think this actually might be Nanai. Jeez. I was on my way to Tokyo to pick up furniture for my mansion from a friend. I had 2 good friends in high school, and one of them would donate her furniture to my place from time to time. She established herself as the president of the hotel business in the capital, being the most successful one out of 3 of us. Yesterday, she told me over the phone how she decided to close a few of her hotels and sell off the land. According to her, the decision wasn't made due to the business struggling. In fact, she bought that land expecting its value to skyrocket so she could sell it off at a higher price. Long story short, she now has some extra furniture she didn't know what to do with. She sent a portion of that furniture to other places and sold off some at others as an auction. But she still had a lot left and didn't feel like throwing everything away. Besides, donating them to someone was cheaper than disposal anyway. It made her remember that I ran an inn, so she decided to contact me. We both came from a small village in the mountains. Most of it consisted of rice paddy fields and traditional Japanese buildings, with thatched roofs, so y'all can rarely find anymore in this day and age. Besides that, only lush green mountains surrounded the area. It was the very definition of the word countryside, sugar. As such, the majority of my childhood memories were flowing rivers, singing birds, and the fresh smell of rice fields. Wow, this looks a lot like the train platforms in Australia. I heard the chirping of birds as I got off the train. But as I looked around, trying to find him, I only saw a tall pole with a speaker on top. I descended the stairs, thinking that people in the city were weird. My friend has always been obsessed with success, so she ended up choosing a famous university in the capital. At first, I was worried about her. As to why? Well, there was anything that really made her stand out in school. Even her grades were all average. I imagine city people, as a competition-driven group, they would do anything for money. So I wasn't sure a country lamb like her could possibly survive in a sea of such sharks. However, she ended up being much more capable than I gave her credit for, and got as far as opening multiple hotels and inns all over the area by herself. In retrospect, perhaps her ability not to stand out in the country was just another manifestation of her shrewdness in life. Now, I never suspected her of having an interest in running businesses, although she was the one who collected money from it for us to pay with the bill whenever we went to eat out. I don't know, it just, in America, it was very different, but trains in America were, like, you only have long-distance trains and city subway. And this kind of train platform that goes, like, is meant as, like, a main form of transportation was not something you have in America. Because America only has long-distance rail and subways for cities. Now, she was never part of any group of authority in school, like a student counselor or something similar. But now that I thought about it, she'd always find a way to keep the discussion going once all the others had run out of ideas or energy. It was interesting how talent would sometimes manifest in the least expected places.
Although, y'all could only ever notice that in retrospect. As for me, I remained in our hometown and still lived there. As I left the station, I climbed on the back seat of the first taxi I spotted and told the driver the address of the hotel. The driver raised a white glove hand in a sign of understanding. Now I leaned back in my seat and recalled the last time I visited her hotel. She bought some ancient building with a bunch of old furniture and gave it a makeover. The result was the hotel. I wasn't sure if they fit my place, but I did have my eye on a few specific things. As such, I promised her to board the Shinkansen from Kansai to Tokyo first thing in the early morning the next day. I looked up at a tall building I saw through the window. It was my third time in Tokyo. Most of the time, I just head straight to the international airport by train, so it was pretty new for me to actually be driven through the city in a taxi. I could feel the driver staring at me through the rearview mirror, so I decided not to visit too much. When I reached the hotel, I found her in the lobby. She was talking on the phone. She drew the phone away from ear for a moment. Before I could open my mouth, said, "What voice do I use for her?" "If there's anything that piques your interest, put this sticker on it." Back on the train, I mentally ran through multiple simulations of how our conversation would go, but it seems like I was only wasting my time. But that was so like her. Following her instructions, I'll spend the rest of the time walking around putting stickers with my name on them on things I liked. Turning around, I saw all sorts of furniture with my stickers on them. It reminded me of a property feature scene I once saw in a movie. Now, some of the things I wanted were already gone, but I still got my hands on quite a number of nice articles. One of the antiques I grew particularly fond of was a moss green one-seater sofa of English design. After about an hour, I returned to the lobby to look for my friend. I spotted her walking through the main entrance. She seemed to be on her way somewhere, accompanied by a person wearing an expensive suit. "You already done?" "Yeah." "Did you find anything?" "Oh, I found quite a few things I could use. It was definitely worth the trip." "Glad to hear that." "Are y'all going somewhere?" "Yes, I have some urgent business to take care of. I don't think I'll be back by sunset." "I see. I'm sorry for having you come all this way and..." "Oh, it's okay, sugar. Work doesn't wait. I'll come again some other time to thank y'all for this." She made a warm smile upon hearing me say that. It was at least 3 times more dazzling than the one I remembered from our school days. We're actually going to pass by the station on the way. We could drop you off there if you want." "Will that help me save some cash on the taxi?" "Thanks." I spotted a luxurious-looking black car parked by the side of the road as we left the hotel. We both climbed onto the back seat. The interior smelled brand new. I looked out the window as the car began to move. Now, I might have come from the country, but even I knew this was a luxurious German car that must have cost a fortune to buy and maintain. As I was wondering whether she would be filing a purchase of this caliber under taxable or non-taxable expenditure, she suddenly asked me how I felt about the city. took me a few moments to realize the meaning of her question. Well, it's quite different from home. I was really surprised by that random birdsong speaker at the station. Oh, those are for the visually handicapped. I gave her a confused look. You might have noticed how they were all set up by the stairs. I reddened, realizing I had the wrong idea all along. It's been quite a while since I've been back home, she remarked, chasing the subject upon noticing my distress. We spent the few minutes it took to get to the station discussing the country. As we reached our destination, I stepped out of the car and thanked her. I glanced at my watch as the car rolled away. I had nothing to do for the rest of the day. Heaving a sigh, I ventured into the Nakano shopping district with the intention of grabbing something for lunch. After walking around for a while, I found myself attracted to a melon bread shop and a ramen restaurant. However, I felt like melon bread alone would not be enough, while the ramen seemed like it was made using bland soy sauce for the base. Then, I remembered how there was an excellent ramen shop in Ueno. I couldn't quite remember how to get there, but I had plenty of time to spare. So I hopped a train at Nakano Station, then headed in Ueno's general direction.
This sounds familiar.
I changed to the Yamanote line at Shinjuku and reached my destination with far less difficulty than I had expected. It was already past 1 o'clock, but I still managed to get into the shop without having to wait in line. With no one to talk to while I ate, I ended up reminiscing about the last time I'd been here. I ate here with the other one of those two friends I mentioned. I wonder what friends she's talking about. At that time, she wanted to go to the nearby zoo. It was 2 o'clock when I left the restaurant. I'd reserved a seat on the night train. But seeing how it was a weekday, I probably would have found an open seat on any random train at this hour. However, my original plan was to spend the night drinking with my friend while reminiscing about the old days, then use all my remaining energy to catch the last train and sleep until I was home. I felt the need to use all this pent-up energy. Besides, I was in a good mood after getting my hands on all that great furniture for free. I decided to go to the zoo. I thought it'd be empty at this hour, but boy howdy was I wrong. There was a middle-aged man with a camera looking at birds. I also found an old man gazing at the elephants. I ran into a whole family on the Penguin Mountain. Each corner had at least one person strolling around. One man was drinking beer in front of the bear cage. First glance, I didn't spot anything inside, so I stopped and began looking for the bear that was supposedly there. Its cage was on a lower level compared to me, with some rocks, a lake, and a large tree in the middle. I circled around the cage, but I still couldn't find the bear. Perhaps the caretakers took it somewhere else. The bear might have needed a medical checkup, or had to be taught some tricks to entertain the audience. Or maybe it needed to be washed at some other facility. I stole a glance at the man sitting on a bench, drinking beer. He was absent-mindedly gazing in my direction. I couldn't imagine what he was doing there, in front of an empty cage. Although, I figured he could have said the same thing about little old me. When I reached the small animal corner, I realized I was going through this zoo in the exact same order as before. There were hundreds of potential routes one could have picked. I remember how adamant my friend was about seeing an anteater. This friend sounds a lot like Takako. Jeez. So, we pretty much combed the entire place looking for it. I was following the exact same route now. I stood in front of the anteater's cage. It was still in the same place. A building separated from visitors by a glass wall. There was a sign with the word anteater written on it, in white ink dangling in front of the cage. "Found it!" I said while she was looking somewhere else. "You did?" She cheerfully hurried to my side. "Where is it?" She lined up next to me. "I don't think it's here right now, sugar." "No way. This cannot be." She drooped her shoulders. When I asked her why she wanted to see it so goddamn much, she told me his hands looked so cute when he tried to walk on his hind legs. She wanted to see the real thing ever since she saw it in a picture. It seems to do that when it's angry, I told her as I read the explanation. That's what's good about it. Now, I very much doubted that the anteater would agree with that. I pulled myself back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. Gave the cage a good look. I pulled myself back to reality. Gave the cage a good look. There was no sign of the anteater this time either. I felt like I could now understand her disappointment. Someone else came to the cage while I was still lingering in front of it. I decided to make it look like I was looking for an animal before I'd hastily leave. However, as I shook my head in front of the cage, a man walked up next to me and began taking pictures of it. Confused, I peered into the cage again. No matter where I looked, I still couldn't see any animals. Next, I looked at the man. Wearing a polo shirt, he seemed to be lost in his own world while taking pictures. Excuse me? Could you all tell me what you're taking pictures of? I had to ask. Otherwise, this would have kept me up all night. Maybe there was something wrong with my head that made me unable to perceive anteaters in the real world. Besides, I hated the feeling of regret that came after letting certain opportunities slip past you. The man looked at me and made a friendly smile. I'm in need of some scenery pictures. I'm not here to photograph animals, he added. Scenery pictures? Still somewhat puzzled, I ended up parroting his words. I'm designing something that's supposed to recreate the world of animals living in their cages. Now he's much more scruffy.
I'm designing something that's supposed to recreate the world of animals living in their cages. It's called habitat reproduction, and I'm collecting samples for it right now.
He stopped taking pictures and explained everything to me in a friendly manner. I see. It wasn't anything special after all. Now that I thought about it, being able to send anteaters probably wasn't a very realistic disease anyway. That is a miniature South American tropical rainforest inside that cage. Even the sound of the temperature being emulated. Now that he mentioned it, this room was indeed now unnaturally warm, and I could even hear the sounds of monkeys and birds through the speakers. I see, I said, feeling impressed. Animals feel more at home this way. And the audience too has a chance to learn more about actual tropical conditions. Well, that's pretty elaborate. I'll pay more attention to the scenery from now on. You do that. I guarantee it'll be more fun that way. After parting from that man, I followed his suggestion and began scrutinizing the environs of all the other cages. After parting from the man, I followed his suggestion and began scrutinizing the environment of other cages. I thought they all had similar plants inside them, but as I took a closer look, I realized almost every cage had something different. What surprised me was that none of them were merely models or imitations, but real, actual plants that the zoo staff must have been growing. I found a lot of plants I'd never seen before. I just didn't realize it. But this place could have easily doubled as a botanic garden. They must have cared for their animals quite a bit. A branch quivered in a tall cage inside the bird corner. I spotted a big owl. I turned to the signboard for help, but it listed a whole bunch of different predatory birds along with their illustrations, and I couldn't immediately find the one I had just seen. Signboard had information about their names, natural habitat, and the method of their hunting. I stared into the round eyes of the bird. I had a feeling it was staring back at me. I wonder if it could remember its old forest. Although, from the way it motionlessly stared at me, it didn't seem like it was having any such thoughts. Now that I thought about it, she was also quite interested in birds. Back when we lived together in the mansion up in the mountains, We would observe different types every season.
Who is she talking about? Who could this be? I'm not quite sure it's Nana anymore.
She'd find all sorts of birds and tell me their names. I remembered how we'd look for them in the forest after hearing chirping. During one of our walks, I asked her the names of every single bird we spotted. She ended up mentioning over 30 species. I myself only recognized 2 or 3. But I can still remember over half the names she kept repeating. I pulled myself back to reality again. The owl was still staring at me. I guess the zoo helped me remember my past, at least.
Interesting. She's forgetting as well, it seems. Well, you guys, I am getting a bit sleepy now, but interesting. I don't know if that was even her, if that was even Nanai. Could it have been someone else? I don't know. And next time we finally get back to Sachiko. Thank you so much for joining me today. Seriously, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. So tomorrow we have more Higurashi. And then the day after, some more Seabed. Until next time, I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You are all the sweetest of hearts. See you.